All right, so boom, welcome back to my favorite part of the channel where I get to sit down with some of my friends and colleagues who've cracked the code to elite business careers. In these conversations, we break down the exact moves that they made from undergrad to MBA and beyond so you can run a similar play. This is a very special conversation with my friend Bradley. He's a Wharton classmate. Man, look, Bradley is one of the most interesting, intelligent, eclectic brothers that I've ever known. Comes from a family of educators. Unfortunately, he is an Eagles fan, but he is as Chicago can Chicago. And that'll make sense in the conversation. Bradley is an engineer at heart, but he became a VC guy through exposure from some of his friends and just his journey. And at the core of his mission is democratizing access to capital and ownership to marginalized groups. This is a very special conversation, man, and here's the most interesting thing to me. Bradley understands the power of slowing down so you can speed up faster for the rest of your career. I say that because he left total compensation that would blow your mind, right? He left a salary, bonus, investments, etc. that people spend their whole lives and never see in order to pause and go to business school, in order to pause and go somewhere where you can get access and exposure to things to make the world smaller for you and therefore make your goals easier and faster to obtain. It's a very special conversation. I hope you enjoy it. Tap in. This is Bradley's Playbook. Why is VC important for our community?
Democratizing access to capital. To me, that's very important. Alternative forms of wealth are probably the way that we are going to get rid.
How was NYU?
I never knew this many flavors of the diaspora until I got to New York.
How much were you making before
If you're not talking about the money conversation, you're doing your community a disservice, right? So I think the people that are on the kind of short end of the stick are people that look like us, right? And I think that we typically tend to gatekeep these dollar amounts, right? The things that we make, right? So I think if you are keeping your bag to yourself, someone else can kind of benefit from that, and you are doing your community a disservice.
You were touching this amount in your late 20s, early 30s, right?
Yeah, Wharton was just a vibe, man. Wharton was an amazing time.
You ever wonder how people end up in money-making careers that run the modern economy? Some people stumble upon these life-changing opportunities, and some people find out when it's too late, if they ever find out, and neither should be the case. So we're putting the careers of the business landscape into perspective, one conversation at a time. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm blessed, man. I'm happy that I got the time to do this, and I'm excited.
Well.
I'm excited to do this, man.
Happy to have you here, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Shoot. So look, on these conversations, as we talked about, we really want to democratize career information to under-resourced communities and to everybody, really, right? So every guest on these conversations, like you were chosen for a reason, right? So as we get to know you, what are some key elements about your upbringing that we need to know?
No. I think that democratizing access is something I think that's probably on both of our kind of tenets that we hold dear to us. But I could talk about my upbringing. So I am born of two Nigerian parents. So academics was in my DNA. I had to do something educationally. I had to do school. That was a non-option. My dad immigrated from East Nigeria during the war, Biafran War. And he came pursuing education. So I think that kind of grounding principle always was something that stood true, right? It didn't matter what situation I was in. I knew that I had to kind of do something that was education oriented. I was born in Philadelphia. My dad was at Temple at that time. My mom was there as well. My older brother was there as well. He's born in DC. We moved around a lot. My dad was super transient. We moved from DC to Philly to Jersey to Arkansas, and then finally Chicago. So spent most of my formative years in Chicago. But yeah, I think that kind of growing up with an academic father, I always had that North Star that I wanted to do something education. And he always instilled that into us. The places I grew up in were, I think they colored my experiences a certain way. I think that we didn't come from money. My father was really scrappy. I think that he came from nothing and made something out of himself. A doctor, right? Somebody super educated, and we kind of had the opportunity as well. He gave us a good kind of foundation, but it was no silver spoons. Yeah. So kind of Chicago was a cool experience. My dad taught at Chicago State.
Okay.
It's not an HBCU, but it historically serves people on the south side of Chicago. I had the opportunity to go to a high school called Rich Central. It's in like Olympia Fields, maybe 30 minutes south of Chicago, like a southern suburb. And that in itself was privilege, right? That was something my dad worked really hard towards to get us to a school that was better than, he wasn't a CPS fan, Chicago Public School. Yeah. Got the opportunity to go to that high school, and that high school still wasn't the best, right? Underserved community. Okay. Probably 99% black.
Yeah. It's on the south side of Chicago.
No, this is maybe 30 minutes south, like a south
south
suburb. Yeah,
gotcha.
South suburb. So that experience was kind of eye-opening because in the neighboring towns, right, there was better education. There's better opportunities, better technology. So I think that we unfortunately were in the wrong zip code, right? We didn't have the opportunity to benefit from what the Flossmoor people had or what the Homeboy people had. But I think kind of highlighting these experiences, bro, I still had that North Star with my pops, very much so. It didn't matter how teachers didn't prioritize education, right? You kind of were on your own. Not many people excelled, went to school. People did trade school. People kind of figured out on their own, but it wasn't a lot of people that excelled to do academic, rigorous things. So I think just kind of like having a pops that was ingrained in education, like that was something that was super important to me. So I knew I had that through line. Yeah,
that's awesome. So having your dad in your life was like an unfair advantage for you, so to speak.
It was a cheat code.
Cheat code for sure.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And I think that, I mean, kind of growing up in where we were, people had nice things, right? People had the nice car. People had, you know what I'm saying, the nice shoes and things along those lines. And I wanted those things. I definitely did, especially in high school. And I ran around with probably a crowd I probably shouldn't have.
Of course,
probably,
bro. You know what I mean? They had that, you know what I mean? They had them on.
Yeah, they had them on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think that, like, seeing that at such an early age, right, you kind of aspire to, right? I had a homie, I remember Lil Joe used to have a Grand National. He had sixes, you know what I'm saying? And Lil Joe wasn't making legal money, right? Yeah. And I think that was, I had, in a short term kind of level, I aspired to see those things, but I knew when I came home, you know, Pops. Yeah. So I think that, like, being in that space and kind of being cool and kind of being rocking with the people who, you know, were those people, I think I always had that influence that, okay, this is cool, but I know that I have a greater purpose. Right. So being in a space, but not being of that space, right? I think that's similar to like Christian Walker, being in the world, but not of the world. So I think that was cool. My father was that grounding kind of person for me.
Yeah. So was it your father that told you, look, you had to go to college, or how did college aspirations reach you? And talk to me about, like, you know, Ivy League, HBCU, state school, trade school. Yeah. What were your options? What were you aiming for in high school?
Yeah, my father always wanted us to go to college. He came from Nigeria and went to college, went to a lot of schools, went to Howard, met my mom at Howard. Okay. Temple, went to a lot of academic institutions. So he knew that he wanted his kids to go to school. My brother also was extremely smart.
Okay.
Very
This is
talented.
your older brother?
My older brother.
Got you.
3 years older than me, very smart. Was one of the, like, pillars at our high school. I would come to class. They were like, bro, you feel, brother? I was one of those kids. Yeah. But I knew I was smart. I was good at math and science, but I just wasn't driven like my brother. And my brother kind of had that fire under him to do well. He went to Chicago. He had all these scholarships and things like that.
Gotcha.
So I always knew that I had to go to school, but I wasn't as gifted as my brother was in that academic space.
I know you ended up going to NYU.
NYU was a stroke of luck.
Say more.
NYU wasn't even on my radar.
Okay.
Right? Like, where I was from, like, everybody went to school in the city. You go to UIC, you go to, if you're lucky, you get to U Chicago. A lot of people went to U of I, right? So you stayed kind of in state, and I thought that was me. Right. Like, I didn't really know what I wanted to do in high school because I didn't have that representation around me. Like, nobody was an engineer. The first time I heard about engineering, my Uncle Samson was like, yo, I know a guy who's an engineer. Not even him being an engineer, but he said, I know a guy's an enginer.
I know little buddy from up the street.
You feel me? And he's doing well, right? He don't have to think about money. He got a nice car. And to me, I thought that was attractive at that time. So I said, okay, let me run that through line. I figured out I was good at math. I was good at science, right? So not even towards the end of my experience in, like, high school, that was when I really honed in and said, hey, engineering is something that I want to do.
Okay.
And it was really through that interaction with my uncle. But back to the NYU space, right? I was going to go to UI.
Okay.
I was going to go to Champaign. I didn't know what my major was going to be because I wasn't locked into engineering yet. There was, and I had this conversation when I graduated at NYU, a letter in the mail.
In high school?
NYU, in high school.
It was one of those generic,
apply.
Okay.
But they were like, yo, we're impressed by your because I think I took the ACT.
Gotcha.
I got a good score on the ACT.
Okay. Little brainiac, little hood brainiac.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Got a good score on the ACT. They sent me a letter. Say, hey, we want you to apply. We got this program. We got this fire scholarship for you. I was doing the math. I said, well, I don't really have to pay that much bread to go here. So I applied. I got in. Called me. Rolled out the carpet. Everything. Right.
Yeah.
And this was maybe like March.
Okay.
Before I graduated.
Yeah.
So people, you know what I'm saying, they got the little banners in the mail. People already made their decision.
They already made,
They like, Bradley, when you going to school?
Yeah.
I thought I was going to U of I, but last second NYU kind of came, gave me that scholarship, like took care of like all this stuff, housing, all this. So for me, it was very much like, this is God. I'm like, this is God. Last second, I made that leap to go to NYU, and I knew nobody in New York, man.
Wow. You had never been to New York?
Never been to New York before.
You took a leap of faith.
Took a leap of faith.
Wow. Man.
I remember my first time in New York. It was me and my pops. We landed JFK. We didn't know how to get to Brooklyn. We taking a train, missing the stops, missing a bus. I remember my first day. We went to like orientation. Figured out what my dorm was. I'm talking to some people. He meets a family, Igbo family in the back. Kicking it, whatever. Cool. He like, hey, there's some Igbo people over here. You know what I'm saying? You know, you see people, you're like, hey, we over here.
Yeah.
Right. So I meet them. I meet the guy, Ikem. He's one of my best friends now, actually. I just went to his wedding.
Wow. That's awesome.
That first day, he said, hey, I feel safe leaving you here.
Wow. Do your thing.
It's the last time he came until I graduated.
Wow.
So that was really a leap of faith. I had no family except this family that I just met, which Ikem became my boy. He had a little brother who also went to school as well. But New York wasn't on my radar. It was honestly an act of God, bro, that happened for me.
Man, big on you for answering the call.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, obviously they threw some bread your way, made it a little easier for you, but still, man, the faith to just leave something that's uncomfortable, no, to leave and go somewhere that's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And trusting in the process of scaffolding to make you a better person and to help you get closer to your goals, bro. Big on you for answering the call.
Appreciate that.
How was NYU?
NYU was an eye-opening experience, bro. And I remember my first time there, I was like, bro, this is not Chicago. These people are different. Everybody is like, the music was different. They listen to dance hall, soca. It was a. I think my experience, like being in Chicago, being in the South Side, is very much like, bro, like Chicago's a very segregated city. Mm-hmm. Right? I think that probably one of the most in the U.S. I think if we were to count numbers. And New York is not like that. Mm-hmm. New York is a melting pot.
Facts.
Right? And I remember in Chicago, it very much was like, you're in Chicago, like you're black, you're African American. But I knew that people were African, right? We knew it was Nigerians, but I never knew about people being Bayesian, people being Bohemian, people being from the levels. I never knew this many like flavors of black, black, you know what I'm saying, black to diaspora until I got to New York. Yeah. So I get there, right? People Jamaican, Haitian, really locked in with like different cultures. And to me, it was overwhelming. It's like, dang, y'all playing dance, y'all playing soca. Like, I want to hear trap music. You know what I'm saying? I grew up on Gucci, right? Like, I want to hear like the stuff that I knew, and it was almost like a culture shock, even though I was already black. Right? So it's like, it's just so many different things, and I actually didn't enjoy my first year, bro.
Wow. What was like the turning point for you to enjoy it? Because now knowing you speak very highly of New York.
Love it.
Right? That's like your second home for real. We were just talking about that.
Love it,
you speak very highly of NYU. Yeah. What was the turning point for you?
I had got into a group called GQ. It's called Gentlemen Equality.
I thought you were talking about the magazine. Okay, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
Nah, I got into a group called GQ. It was for men of color in the NYU's campus. Okay. We were obviously the minority. And I was really feeling that the first year. I was really homesick. All my people were back at the crib. They was kicking it.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not seeing them until breaks, right? And I didn't have bread to go back during spring break or like maybe winter break, maybe summer break, right? So I'm seeing them twice a year. I think I had a little shorty out. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of stuff was it was just hard for me to adapt. I'm there by myself. I'm meeting new people, but they're not really my people. People back home are enjoying themselves, having a good time. Food is everything was, but meeting GQ, people that kind of had a similar experience, not being from New York, a lot of people, I think that was what really got me locked in. And I think I ended up staying that first year. I got deeper into the group. And they kept me staying in New York, man. Honestly, they're the reason why I stayed at NYU, GQ.
That's awesome, bro. Now, this is kind of crazy to me. The data says that over half of you watching this video right now are not subscribed. So why don't we do this? Take 2 seconds, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and my promise to you, every single upload on this channel will be better and better and better. Can you do that for me? All right, let's rock. Okay, so cool. You were at NYU, homesick that first year. I could definitely relate, bro. I went to the Air Force Academy without having gone to Colorado. I'm from East Garland, Texas, right? I get to the academy, bro, barely anybody look like me, right? So I get you with being homesick. Big on you for finding a group to plug into, major in engineering. I know we're going to get to your career here in a second. But what do you think, like what conversations or what sort of exposure do you think was missing from your home, your upbringing, your community, just your experience that would have made that transition easier for you?
And I think that was that was something that nobody really had ever done in my community or my space, right? Most people were pretty close to the crib, right? Chicago, maybe Missouri. A lot of people went to Mizzou, but like going to New York was pretty unheard of. Something that would have been helpful for me is to like really dive into new experiences, which is something that I took kind of later into like my life, and like being open to those new experiences, bro. Because I mean, for me, I was very much closed off, bro. I like this type of food. I like Harold's.
Yeah.
I like Harold's. Y'all ain't got no Harold's in here.
Yeah, right.
I ain't got no. I remember I used to always say, like, is it mild sauce?
Yeah, right.
Like, what? So I think that like just kind of having that closed mindset, like literally, and it's so cliche, but like having an open mind into new situations, I think that would have helped me enjoy that experience and like dived into newer experiences when I was in New York. So if someone would have told me, bro, you doing something that no one's ever really done before, you have to make the blueprint yourself, right? Like you can't look at someone else's journey and be like, well, oh, they get to be in Chicago and do this and kick it. Different.
The path isn't linear.
It's not linear.
Yeah.
Right. The path isn't linear. So I think that was a piece of advice. And I also think that something I wish that I would have tapped into is like doing something extremely hard, right? While I had that time, doing something extremely hard and extremely difficult. My dad had a quote and he always says this, like, bro, you can't avoid hard work in life. You can't avoid hard work in life. You either do that hard work while you're young, you got energy, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed.
Right.
Or that work is going to be pushed to where you old, when you're tired. You have slower recall, right? Like really front-loading that difficult work and learning those tasks, right? Really locking in on whether it's engineering, whether it's coding, whether it's scripting, right? So like I would have forced myself to like really kind of pressure test and try something super, super hard at the beginning, even though engineering wasn't no joke.
Right.
But I think if I would have like kind of lived in that space, the rest of that earlier career would have been easier for me.
Think your father would be proud of you right now, man?
I think he would be, man.
Good, man.
Yeah.
Good. Let's talk about your transition from NYU to the professional side, right? You did a lot of engineering operations. I know you as a VC person. I don't really know the engineering side of you, but sort of talk about how you got into engineering after NYU.
Engineering to me was more a thought process. It's the way you solve problems.
Got you.
Right. So I think that even though I don't actively practice engineering in the like typical discipline, I have that engineering mindset in the way like I systemically try to solve problems. So I think that like, bro, engineering was super cool. And I think for me, like my career was really just me getting like really deep, being super curious about it and being open to pivot. Yeah. Right. Because I was an engineer, right? So I did process engineering. My first job, I worked at L'Oreal, right? And I worked in a manufacturing facility. I got super into like downstream, like, okay, cool, right? We have this very large 20K tank, right? How can we make this modular? How can we do a single use technology, right? So how can we make downstream more optimized and efficient? I got locked into that super early. Yeah. Then I switched. Yeah. I said, well, dang, this is kind of boring. I want something else. Yeah. I'm trying to see how businesses actually run. So I actually got to live in Switzerland for 7-8 months. Wow. And work on like strategy, right? for these large corporations like biz dev, stuff like that. Cool. So I was like, this is cool. I'm seeing how organizations kind of strategically set their vision, set their goals, and try to work on that operationally. Then I kind of got to the part where entrepreneurship was interesting to me. I was in the Bay Area. My roommate at the time was like, he was an entrepreneur. He had like a venture studio. That's when I really got into like entrepreneurship, VC. Gotcha. And he kind of like exposed me to a lot of different levels of things that I had never really known existed, right?
Yeah.
So that was kind of the progression career-wise, just me being super intellectually curious.
Yeah.
Then me open a pivot.
So you work for L'Oreal in New York? Or
New Jersey.
In Jersey.
Yep.
From there, you go to Switzerland.
Then I go to the Bay.
Then you go to the Bay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a journey, bro.
It's a journey, man.
That's a journey, man.
It's a journey.
Yeah. I like it, though. So what is VC for the homies? Explain VC.
Yeah.
Simple
VC
terms.
is venture capitalism. So it is a person investing a minority stake into a company that is still private.
Got you.
Right. So I have some capital. I see someone building this kind of business. I want to invest in them. Right. I own a minority stake. I probably don't have decision-making rights. I'm investing super early in the hopes that this company becomes successful and I can reap those benefits later on.
What skills does someone learn in VC?
VC is a sales job, if we're being honest. You are constantly selling and you're constantly pitching ideas. I think the biggest kind of attribute to be a good VC is being able to identify talent.
Yeah.
Being able to kind of see like a human being and kind of read through them and understand, hey, what are you really good at, right?
Yeah.
Like if your company has 2 months of runway, right, you have $0, what kind of decisions are you going to make? How do you behave under pressure, right? So being able to kind of understand the like human nature in business, I think is super important in VC. Yeah, and it's obviously, it's a lot of understanding how businesses work. Do I think this business is going to grow? Is this a market that's going to grow?
Yeah.
Is this founder the person that's going to grow in this market? So it's a lot of kind of like business analysis in a particular medium.
Why is VC important for our community?
Yeah, I think that we talked about democratizing access, right? I'm also big about democratizing access to capital. To me, that's very important.
Yeah.
I think that alternative forms of wealth are probably the way that we are going to get rich, right? I think that stock market, I think it's important to have a diversified portfolio. You want to put money into ETFs, you want to put money into stocks, right? But I also think that there's another side where people that look like us don't really get to explore. Yeah. And for me, I think VC is one of those vehicles where people can build those, generational wealth, right? Build those things that kind of look like, and it's something that we've been kind of excluded from. Right, I think that even for angel investing, you have to make, I think, $200K a year. That's already putting
That's
out.
wild,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Like you already, for you to be an accredited investor, you're already taking out black and brown people that look like us, right? So we're already historically kind of excluded from these groups. So for me, I was like, bro, I want access. I want all my people to be able to invest in these high growth companies, right, that have, you know what I'm saying, better annualized returns than the stock market, right? So for me, it was all about access.
Yeah, and we're so creative as a people. Like
We are.
Man.
We are.
Like, yeah, man. Access is important. I'm so glad you said that, bro.
Yeah.
So here's my thing, right? When did you first realize that there was money and opportunity in VC? Because VC is like far away from what, typical Nigerian households are exposed to, right? It's doctor, lawyer, engineer.
Yeah.
Right? You did your engineering bit.
Yeah.
And then your boy in the Bay Area exposed you to
roommate.
VC. But when did you realize, like, no, there's money here?
Yeah, I think I had met a guy. His name was Docs
Okay.
at NYU. Yeah, no, Docs at NYU, and Docs was flashy.
He had it on him. He was
Docs had
was boy in Paid in Full.
what's his name? I know you can talk about.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. But Docs was flashy. Docs came in Gucci loafs. Docs would come to the GQ meetings in a suit, right? And then I was just like, bro, why have Docs come through this fly? You know what I'm saying? He got bread. He was an investor in companies, right? He acquired like businesses. And I think that was my first kind of like foray with like, oh, there's like another layer of wealth within this entrepreneurship space. Because to me, I was thinking small business. I think, oh, you got but no, these are high growth companies, right? Most companies that we have in S&P 500 are VC backed businesses, right? So I think that was my first experience. Like, oh, and Docs was kind of putting me on game. Okay, well, I'm thinking about acquiring this business. I think we had a call about him trying to buy this small like soap company so he can outfit hotels with like the little soap travel bottles. I was like, this was like in 2015.
Man, he had the game.
So it's like, man, like having those conversations, I was like, okay, there's more money to be made.
Yeah.
So I was getting a little salary, but there was more money to be made. And I think that like generational wealth was something that
I like that.
I wanted to tap into, and I think he really opened me up to that. Man. Shout out to Docs.
Nice, man. Shout out to Docs, whoever you are, man. Shout out to Docs, man.
Bro, hey, he pulled up on us in SF and Aston Martin. Man. He one of those,
Come
man.
on,
He one of
man.
those. He one of those.
Flexing on the young boys. That's wild. So, okay, so that hunger, I'm assuming, made you want to start your own VC fund, Black Violet Capital.
Yeah, Black Violet Capital is my brainchild. It's my baby. I think it's probably my greatest professional kind of endeavor. Super important to me, and it came out of like a hunger that like there's a lot of money being left on this table by Black and brown people.
Yeah,
it's a lot of rooms that we don't even get the chance to kind of get into, right? And there is a lot of alpha that's left on the table. And I think Black Violet Capital was kind of my response to that, right? Me and my boy Tyler actually would just sit and just kind of rapping, talking about, and he was really big in stocks. Yeah. He was really big about like pre-IPO investing. He's like, bro, I'm trying to get into these companies earlier and earlier. I want to be able to identify the next Google before it costs $300 on the market, right? Price is super important for entry. And we had these super diverse experiences. Our initial team was me, I was doing healthcare, biotechnology. He had worked at a startup. We had people that worked at Google, technologists, right? So we had this like super diverse group of people that had the same questions. Like, why don't we have access to these deals, right? Like I just saw Stripe is just what, $90 billion company. Like, how come I never got the chance to see that?
Why did it never come across our desk?
You feel me? And I think that pain point was what really kind of birthed Black Violet Capital. And we wanted to really do something for people that look like us. Yeah. Democratize access to that capital. So
I like it.
That's what that was.
And if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but when you have a fund, you have to figure out how to go source deals. And you can get that from like a plethora of places.
Yep.
How do we break that barrier? Like to where we're in those conversations to where deals are coming across our desk?
Yeah. Access is key. Right. I think now I have the access. I get deals. I got Perplexities on my desk. I got a lot of like high growth companies that were on my desk that I had to pass on, unfortunately. But it's just like there's an access barrier. Yeah. Right? Like people that look like us don't really get to go to HBS or Wharton or GSB, right? So we don't even get to interface with those people that have the thing at the tips of their fingers. Yeah. So I think that there's unfortunately like an access mismatch. That's why people don't get access to these deals, but people are pitching them. Yeah. I mean, we invested in Anthropic a year and a half ago, and people were knocking our door to get the Anthropic shares, right? But a lot of people, if you don't know the right people, you don't even know how to get into there, right? Yeah. So I think that was something that we knew we had to. That was the barrier. Yeah. That access.
So cool. It sounds like your network is really the key to deal flow, right? And like exposure to different varieties of people, industries, etc., and then getting the word out that I'm looking to invest. And then people will send you deals. Yeah. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, and it's being in this game for like a couple of years, and I'm by no means a veteran, but there's a clear quality differential between founders, right? There's a lot of. If I were to go on LinkedIn right now and say, hey, I have $500,000 to spend. I'm looking for these type of founders. I'll get 1,000 people that DM me. Those aren't the founders that I want.
Say more.
The founder that you're looking for doesn't need to solicit for funding. Most of the time, you're trying to win the deals in VC as opposed to like sourcing them fresh. Again, I don't want to. There might be a situation where there's a one-off. Somebody might not have any access, but a lot of times those founders who are top tier are already in the spaces, and the
Yeah.
allocation fills up quick.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So they have multiple Black Violet capitals wanting to invest into their product because either they believe in the product or the person enough.
yeah, 100%.
Got you. Dang, man. That's cool. Man,
Yeah.
we can talk for hours about BC, but
Yeah.
I do want to get into a pivot though, right? Because I know you from MLT and then through Wharton, of course, my classmate. Of
course.
But I'm kind of confused as to why you even chose business school in the first place.
Yeah.
Because you were in VC, you lived in all these amazing places, you've been exposed to business like to the furthest extent, and you were making a lot of money, right? Look, how much were you making before? Like, yeah, how much were you making before business school?
And I want to preface this by saying that if you're not talking about the money conversation, you're doing your community a disservice, right? So I think the people that are on the kind of short end of the stick are people that look like us, right? And I think that we typically tend to gatekeep these dollar amounts, right? The things that we make, right? So I think if you are keeping your bag to yourself, someone else can kind of benefit from that, and you are doing your community a disservice. But to answer that question, I was getting paid well, man.
Talk to me.
Yeah, I was eating well. So I think probably at my peak, I was probably making like a $250,000 in like salary. I had a little stock refresh, so that RSUs kind of ebbed and flowed. But I was living comfortable. I was living comfortably. I got to like really help my family, put money in my pop's pocket, my brother, right? So to me, that was the big win, right? Being able to kind of like, you know, you've done this for me, be able to do that and not have to think about it. I think that was the best part, right? Okay, I can give without having to think.
Wow.
To me, that was beautiful. So I say all this to say that there is money out there.
Yeah.
And there's opportunity as well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And you were touching this amount in your late 20s, early 30s, right?
Yeah, I was late. I think I was maybe like 28, 29 when I was seeing like 200 pluses.
Lord have mercy on my soul. Dang,
man. And again, this is not a testament. Anything that I'm saying here is not a testament to me. I serve an amazing God who is grateful.
Yeah.
I can't take any credit for anything that I've done because, like we've said before, bro, there's so many people that were smarter.
Man.
So many people that were more well-spoken. So many people that, you know what I'm saying, were better connected.
Right.
So it's this is not me, but him.
It's definitely faith and hustle, like you said. So, man, thank you for sharing that. So why did you decide to go to business school? You were leaving $250,000 to come to, I would say, the best business school in the world. But why business school?
Yeah, I think this is a question I asked myself for a very long time. I sat on it. I prayed on it. And it was, I had gotten to a point in my career where I felt like I wasn't learning as much, right? I think that it was almost a crossroad. I can continue down this and try to shoot for C-suite, try to make that play, or I could do something that I was really interested in, which was VC entrepreneurship. And that was kind of me betting on myself, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is kind of a sure thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think unless I mess it up, if I got 30, 40 years, I can probably make a lot of money in this game. But for me, something that, and again, like I said, like I was always curious deeply. I was always open to the pivot. And this was a cool spot to kind of move into a space I was super passionate about. I loved entrepreneurship. I loved VC. And then that for me, this was kind of a bet on myself to kind of move in that direction to say, hey, I'm willing to put this to the side to try something new and something that I'm deeply passionate about, honestly.
Okay.
And my thing is, I knew the money would be there. Again, like, and this is what I want to tell young people, man. Like, the money is gonna come.
It's gonna be there.
The money is gonna be there. Like, don't nitpick over 30K, 40K. Bro, you have a very long career, Lord willing. Most of y'all are probably, if you listen to this, you probably have some type of, engine. You probably want to learn more, right? You already have that initiative. So I think that, like, don't let a little bit of money, a little bit of salary defer you from doing something that you're really passionate about, honestly. Right. And I think that was probably me preaching to myself 2 years ago.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, like, what value did you think business school would bring to you?
Yeah, I think that business school gave me the opportunity to flex, a muscle that I never really got to do, right? And I knew that understanding business was super important in being in VC entrepreneurship. So this is the opportunity for me to do that. I locked in on finance. I was a finance major, right? I locked in on entrepreneurship, right? So I knew that I was highly technical in like undergrad and like grad school, but I didn't really get to like flex that business muscle, that finance muscle. This is the opportunity to do that. And I mean, networking was the most important thing.
Yeah.
I talked about access, right? I talked about things that you really can't get unless you are in that space. Business school is putting yourself in that space. And people say, oh, you can network through X. Maybe. Right? But this is a surefire way to be in the space with potential business leaders, 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
Right? You're not getting that opportunity.
Right.
Through your happy hour, through your city meetup, right?
You're right.
So I think for this, that was kind of the play for me.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy. It's so crazy how similar you and LJ's answers were. Like, and I know our audience is gonna tie the knots and all of that, or connect the dots rather. This is beautiful, man. So I want to ask you this: what was your journey to business school like? Right? Let me talk about your test prep, any organizations that helped you, and why did you ultimately decide on Wharton? I'm assuming you didn't know while you were in the Bay that Wharton was a school for you, or maybe you did, but talk about your journey.
Yeah. These are valid questions, man. I think that the journey started off slow. It was kind of me like, for me, and this is kind of what I've done a little bit in my life that I kind of hate that I do, right? Like, I know I want to do something, I'll dip my toe into it. I'd be like, let's test it out a little bit, right? So I was
check the temp,
check the temp, right? So that's what I was doing for a little while. I was taking little like practice quizzes, right? GMAT practice quizzes. I remember I was at my girlfriend's crib. She lived in Philadelphia at the time, which is another crazy thing,
crazy.
Right? I'm just in the crib, just taking. I'm like, I can kind of do this. I was kind of ready, but I still wasn't like, I'm going to go to business school. She's like, what are you doing this for?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Kind of putting the fire on me to be like, bro, choose a spot. You're going to either do this or not. And I was kind of dipping my toe in. So that was kind of my beginning, like step into that situation. I had boys who had applied to business school before. They ended up getting in like a year before me, and they told me about MLT.
Yeah.
MLT was a game changer.
Shout out to MLT.
Shout out to MLT.
Man, yeah.
Game changer. I had the most fire coach, Coach K, Kendra. She was amazing, man. She saw talent in me that I didn't even see. I remember it like when I started, I was like, okay, well, I didn't really do that well. My GPA wasn't that high in undergrad, right? I know I can do well in the test, but like, she said, don't worry about that GPA. She said, you can go to whatever school you want to. Didn't see my test score, right? She just really kind of like put that fire into me. So I was walking around with the fire too. I said, look, you feel me? So that was my experience. MLT was invaluable. Yeah. I mean, the best $1,000 I've ever spent. Honestly.
Facts.
Yeah. So
it wasn't cheap.
It wasn't cheap. But that was super important. And then I just kind of had a network ahead of me, man. I had people who were trying to do the business school process. My boy was he went to MIT. I had boys at HBS. So I had the kind of community that kind of pushed me in that space. But it was really MLT that kind of put that light under me.
Okay. All right. I want to double tap on something that I know the audience is curious about. It's the big elephant in the room when you talk about the thing you have to overcome to get into business school. Yeah. The GMAT. GMAT. Or the GRE. What did you take, and what was your experience with it? Okay.
Yeah, I took the GMAT. God has blessed me with some type of gift that math comes fairly easy to me.
Okay.
I also had a technical background, so I had done the calculus. I'd done linear. Yeah, I had already figured that out before, so I knew that wouldn't be my Achilles heel.
Okay.
Right. So, and I was blessed. I know that GMAT is the hardest part for a lot of people that are doing that. But the GMAT is not, it's not the end all be all.
Right.
Right. Like, I want people to know that if you don't get that score, that whatever score you're aiming for in that GMAT, that's not the end all be all.
Facts.
Right. I really think that business school applications are a holistic process, right? They're looking at you as a human being, right? And I think that I had enough touch points with people. I made genuine connections, even in schools I didn't go to, right? Like, I remember when I got into Booth, I had met a woman from the same neighborhood same neighborhood I was from. Literally went to Chicago State. My pops taught her.
Wow.
Mind you, I had went to Booth. I had hit her email. Hey, I want to chat. You. She didn't respond. It's like, dang, that shit lame. Come to find out she's on AdCom. The day I get in the booth, get a text message.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
I was pulling for you the entire time. So happy. Woo, she was on my side. So for me, like, I say all this to say that, like, bro, you're more than your score. You're more than your GPA.
Facts.
It is a holistic process, right? So I think that was one of my wins. I was able to kind of speak to why I wanted to go to business school. And just kind of try to be likable, try my best.
Yeah. You a likable guy, bro. You good, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Man. So what all schools did you get into?
So I got into a couple of schools. I got into Booth. I got into Ross. I got into Columbia. I got into Wharton.
Boom.
And then I got into, I think that was all that I got into, but I didn't apply that many schools.
Okay.
I think I didn't get into Stanford. I didn't want to go to Stanford anyway. And I didn't get into, I think I got waitlisted at MIT.
Got you.
So that was my.
What made you choose Wharton? Because like you were Chicago, like through and through, and you had been away from home, right? So like,
very long time.
Normally when people spend their professional careers hustling,
Yeah.
They try to get back home, right? And Booth is amazing. It's one of the best business schools in the world,
Yeah.
right? What made you choose Wharton over Booth specifically?
I know myself, and I wanted to push myself out of my comfort zone.
Okay.
If I'm in Chicago with my pops, I'm kicking it.
Yeah.
My brother's in
with the
Chicago,
homies.
I'm kicking it.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
people in Chicago, I'm kicking it.
Yeah.
Right? That's taking away from me being super intentional about learning about these things I was interested in. And I knew myself. I knew it was going to be difficult.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to even think. I didn't want to have to even think.
I'm picking up what you putting down.
feel
I'm picking
me?
up what you putting down. Yeah.
So I think Booth was an amazing school, right? And it was between Booth and Wharton for me, honestly. But I think at the end of the day, this was also me getting uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right? You have to be comfortable
coming back to
getting
that.
uncomfortable, right? So this was me kind of doubling down, being in that situation. I said, we're gonna do Philly, man.
Yeah.
So and Philly was also, it was a full circle moment for me. I was born in Philly.
Yeah. Yeah. You said that earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't live in Philly long. I was born in Philly. I was there for probably like 3 years. And it's actually a funny story, bro. My girlfriend, she lived in Philly. So I would visit before I'd even gotten into school. I would visit. She lived in West Philadelphia, bro. So I was, and recently I've been trying to kind of like unearth like pieces about my childhood that I wasn't really able to like understand, right? My mother passed away when I was very young, right? So, and I think that was like a traumatic experience. And I think that's also a reason why I care about healthcare, like access to healthcare, but that's another topic.
Gotcha.
And even Philly was always, my dad was super big in Philly, I love Philly, XYZ, city of brotherly love. I never really got to like unearth like what that experience was. So I'm sitting on my girlfriend's balcony and I see this building across the street. I'm like, this building's so janky. I'm like, the windows look messed up. The roof looked crooked. I remember I'm just every time I would sit on the balcony, I'd be like, this is that little janky building. I meet up with my uncle.
Yeah.
Hasn't seen me since I was a shorty. He said, bro, last time I seen you was this small. I come to his crib in West Philly. He like, where your crib used to live in is around here. You want to come see it?
It's that building.
I said, show me that crib. It was that exact same building.
Ain't God funny?
God's funny.
Hilarious.
And it's like me and my brother with him too. I'm just happy my brother was like, he's got to witness it. That's the crib, but it's just so funny in that moment that crib was just, it was beautiful to me because I mean, that was where you got this Nigerian man, his Nigerian wife, he trying to get it. He's trying to make a life better for himself, right? Now he got 2 kids. He's really trying to figure out what's next for him. And he built that in that building, right? So to me, that was the Ritz.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's just like being able to see like pieces of that, like growing up kind of like how we grew. And again, I never really had a silver spoon, right? We never came from money. But it's like seeing that where my father was kind of driven to like do what he did. It's beautiful to me.
Yeah, don't be sleeping on your level because it's beauty in the struggle.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's real.
J. Cole. Bishop Jermaine Cole.
Yeah.
Man, so now we're on the other side of Wharton now.
Yes.
You're an alum now. Congrats.
Appreciate you.
Congrats.
Wow.
Bro, how was Wharton for you?
Wharton was amazing. Wharton was more than I could have imagined. Man, I think that God is just amazing. And I think that like along the way you just kind of see God telling you, hey, this is it, right?
Yeah.
I think that even me meeting my girlfriend in Philadelphia, right?
Yeah.
Even me linking with my boy randomly, him graduating
Yeah.
from Wharton, like me being in that space is just like
Yeah.
it's spirit led. So I think for me that was beautiful. It feels great though, man. The 2 years were unbelievable. It's probably one of the best 2 years I've had in my life, bro. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think that I made genuine people that are going to be at my wedding, that are going to be
Yeah.
my uncles to my kids, aunties to my kids, right?
Yeah.
And I think that is always a win, but also having the opportunity to take 2 years and just breathe, right? Like,
What do you mean by that?
yeah, I mean, bro, I had worked 8 years and I was in biotech. You know what I'm saying? I had worked so many different levels. I got so many promotions. I had worked in different areas and angles, right? Like my head was always down. And like, if your head is down, you can look up. It's 20 years later, right? Life kind of passed you by,
Yeah.
right? The opportunity to be like, I'm going to pause here. I'm going to think critically about what I want my life to look like,
Yeah.
right? What I want marriage to look like, what I want kids to look like. How can I work on myself spiritually, emotionally, right? Wharton was that for me,
Yeah.
right? I got to journal again.
Facts.
I got to do music. I got to
Yeah.
write. I
Produce
got
a
to
play.
You feel me, right?
Yeah,
You got to produce a
yeah,
play,
yeah.
right? Things that I wouldn't have had that space to do had I been locked into the corporate wheel,
Right.
right? So for me, that you can't put a price on that. You can't really quantify that.
Yeah.
So for me, that was beautiful in itself.
Yeah.
Now I got homies, I got brothers. Not that. Now I got, you know what I'm saying, this wavy career that I actually want to do, that I actually feel like I can grow in. Have people that can vouch for me, that can speak for me, that can give me access to these deals that I
Yeah.
So it was invaluable. You can't put a price on that experience that I had at Wharton.
I really hope everyone's capturing this right now, right? From someone who's making $250,000 a year, still talking about, I'm gonna take a pause on this. Actually, I'm gonna take a 2-year pause on this because I can't quantify the investment in myself and the investment into things that I don't even know I'm gonna need later to justify going to business school, bro. Thank you for saying that. And you talked about now you have this wavy career that you are excited about. I kind of want to talk about that, right? So you've built a lot of things, you've invested, you've seen a lot, and now you're going to one of the best strategy consulting firms in the world. Yeah. Crazy. Congratulations.
Appreciate you. You as well.
What
man.
is the yeah. Competitor, but family nonetheless. Family nonetheless, man. Thank you. So let's unpack that. What do you hope to learn at BCG, and how do you think being at BCG will make you a better investor?
I think my experience at BCG, there's a specific set of skills that consultants have that are valuable in the entrepreneurship VC space, right? Being able to evaluate a business. And I think that that's something I haven't really gotten my chops in. And I think that this experience will be a value add, right? Being able to evaluate 6 different businesses, whether it's industrials, whether it's private equity, right? Whether it's CPG, right? Being able to do that quickly and then kind of seeing those growth levers, right? Where can we find strategic alignment? Where can we find operational efficiency, right? So I think that consulting is something that will give me those tools that I can be a better investor.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. Okay. So the ability to evaluate a business and just get exposure to a bunch of different businesses.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. What are some other things you're looking to learn in consulting?
Yeah, I think that the ability to kind of like interface with senior management and provide value quickly, right? So like a lot of roles that I've had, I mean, I've dealt with like directors, VP, but I've never dealt with I never talked to the CEO. I never talked to the COO. And I don't even know what how those conversations should be framed or tailored.
Yeah.
Right. I think that is kind of the consultant specialty, right? They have kind of a C-suite audience and they can kind of tweak their message, tweak their approach, right, for that high level.
Yeah.
So I think for me, that's definitely one of the wins as well.
Facts. Same here. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully I don't get in there and Sound like I'm from. No, I'm just playing. But by the time you're done with your journey, you'll have VC, entrepreneurship, and like elite consulting experience, right? How do you think that all complements each other, especially for your goals?
Yeah, I think that it's one dance in business building, right? Like a business is an organism. It's like a human being, right? Like you want to ensure, and it's like VC to me is like, bro, you're telling me your daily routine, you're telling me your health history and your health habits.
Yeah,
I want to see if you can win a marathon.
Yeah,
right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Intuitively, it doesn't make sense, but that's kind of what VC is, right?
Yeah.
And I think for you to be able to make that assessment, I had to have seen 1,000 people that won a marathon,
right?
And I think consulting is that rep, right?
Yeah,
I've seen 1,000 people win a marathon, so I think that for that is like that's that dance, and I think entrepreneurship is just kind of you getting on the other side and building that marathon runner, right? So dang, I've seen it. So now I'm about to get this guy. I know exactly what he did. I'm going to try to emulate that. I'm trying to make this fresh, right? I know that it might be a different track. It might be a different, 26 miles, but I know that if I engineer this company this way, that you'll be built to win. So I think that that's kind of like that dance between the three.
Yeah, I like it, man. I love that. I love that example, that analogy. Especially we got a lot of athletes that listen to the channel too. So that makes sense, bro. Man, we're gonna start landing the plane here, man. Before we do that, give me one professional hot take that you have.
Professional hot take. I think for me, your value is in really who knows you, not necessarily what you know. Right? I think that at a certain level, we all have kind of access to information, education that is similar. Right? I think the differentiating kind of entity is really who you know and kind of who knows you. So I think that that's my hot take. I think that your network might be more important than what you know.
Hey, man. I know a few people that may agree with you, dog. Yeah. Okay. So you spoke highly of Wharton.
Yeah.
Let's take a little trip down memory lane real quick. What was your favorite trip at Wharton and why?
Yeah, Wharton was just a vibe, man. Wharton was an amazing time. But I think my favorite trip at Wharton, it's probably between two. One was I did a Saudi trek with a couple of the Saudi bros, and we got to
shout
see.
out.
Shout out to Saudi bros. Got to see like Saudi was a place that was not on my radar, but I think Rashad hosted. We kind of got to see like Riyadh. We got to see like Alula. We got to see like how beautiful Saudi was, and how they're gearing up to like really be an economic powerhouse across the world. Right? They have typically been known for their like oil wealth, right? But I think that they are trying to differentiate and be a powerhouse across a bunch of different platforms. So Saudi was a vibe. I basically have Japanese at this point, man. I've been in Japan like 3 times.
If I can find that picture of you at fight night, it's going right here.
Yeah, man, Japan. I love Japan. I love this. I love Tokyo. I love the culture. I love the food. Japan was just a sleeper because when I first went, I was like, bro, why are we going to Japan?
They ain't got no heralds.
They ain't got no mile songs. But I think that leaving, I said, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I've been like 4 or 5 times now. So Japan is one of those.
Dang.
Put that on your list.
Man, I'm not going to lie. Japan and Saudi are 2 trips I did not make, bro. I'm kind of tight about that. That's okay. We can run it back.
Yeah.
We can run it back-ish. It ain't going to be the same.
It'll be there.
Okay, so another thing on business school. What is one thing you think we should pay more attention to as we matriculate into these programs?
Yeah, I think probably something that I would tell myself, and this is probably post like application, probably choosing a business school. Now you're getting ready to go into it and actually matriculate. I think that like if I would have done it a little bit differently, I would have really honed in on the business school like friendships per se, right? I think that I was absent a lot of the first year, right? I didn't come to like AMBA 101, which is you can explain AMBA 101.
I got it.
But I really was kind of half in business school, half like in my regular life, right? I was going to kick it with my homies on the weekend when I probably should have been building bonds. I was going to
be back at the crib, kicking with my pops, when I probably should have been doing something with a club, right? So I think that those 2 years, you probably want to put blinders on. Your people gonna be there. They'll understand. You are taking 2 years out, and you're taking a lot of money to kind of like be in this space. Be present.
Yeah.
Right? And really build those bonds, because like we said, like that's the actual value of business school.
Now, at this point, you're technically freeloading if you haven't liked the video. Do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell YouTube what we're doing. It's free to you, and it means the world to me. Appreciate it. My last question, bro. In these conversations, we are all about not losing the recipes, right? What our grandparents used to tell us all the time. So in that spirit, what's one thing you want to leave people with?
For me, giving back is the most important thing. I am a product of people taking a call, taking a coffee, taking a chance on me, man. I have a short story I wanna share, man. I was in a trying time during grad school. I went to did engineering before I did business school, and I actually was homeless for a short period of time. I couldn't really afford housing. I couldn't really afford to even stay in school. So I was looking for jobs. I was on a job recs. I was looking at them every single time. Really wasn't getting any hits. And somebody took a chance on me, man. There was a woman named, I'll never forget her name, Giselle Minaya.
Shout out Giselle.
Shout out Giselle. I actually was thinking about her recently, and I want to like send her a letter and be like, bro, you changed my life.
Yeah.
Like, you dang near saved my life. But she took a shot on me, man. I remember the day I got this phone call. I was in class. I was getting ready to drop out of school. I was going to go back to the crib, and Lord knows, didn't really know what was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Got me a phone call. She's like, hey, I saw your application. You don't have any experience in this space. She worked at L'Oreal. You don't do beauty. You don't really have manufacturing experience, but I want to take a chance on you. As she said, I want to take a chance on you, right? So, the rest was history, right? Without her, I wouldn't have gone to L'Oreal. I wouldn't have gone to Genentech. I wouldn't have been in Switzerland. I wouldn't have been exposed to a lot of the space. My life would have took a completely different turn. So I guess my recipe is, if you do make it to a position of power where you have hiring power, or you have a position to help somebody, take that time and do so, right? You could literally change somebody's life the way that Giselle changed mine. And I think that that's something that I always move with. If I can do a 20-minute coffee chat and I got the time, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
If I can help out somebody that looks like me, I'm going to do it. Yeah. So I think that like moving up, and my homie has a brand, move up, lift up.
Yeah.
When you move up, make sure you bring in somebody else with you. That's super important. So yeah, that's the advice.
Build as you climb.
Build as you climb.
Bradley,
that's real.
Thank you, bro.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you for having me, man.
Yes, sir.
Love.